Okay, welcome everybody, including Faye, who was unmuted a little while ago and I could hear her and she could talk to me. This is live. Julie Gregory, is this live?
This is live.
So you're on the freeway, stuck in traffic. Go ahead, Julie.
Yep. Yes, I'm on the freeway, stuck in traffic on my way to pick something up from a broker.
All right, very, very cool. So, welcome everybody. We are going to be recording this presentation. There will be some slides that you're going to see here, but most of all, we want to do a little bit of Q&A and talk about what the UST is. Do we need it? Do we want it? And Julie, seeing that you're our sponsor, I should kind of like be quiet and let you ask me whatever questions you want to ask me. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, if you are in front of a computer, on the left-hand side there at the meeting chat, you can type in a question, and this is live. So if you could hear me, just go ahead and on the left-hand side meeting chat, just go ahead and say yes, that you can hear me. And if you have any kind of questions, you can type them in there, and Julie and I will do the best job that we can. And Julie, take it away.
Well, David, first of all, I want to thank you for being a part of this little test prep and helping us find out what we need to know for the UST exam. So I guess one of the first things I wanted to ask you is, what is the UST exam? Okay,
great. Thank you. Judy, Joseph, thank you for telling us that you guys can hear us. The UST is a new test that the NMLS prepared and rolled out April 1st, 2013. And from April 1st, 2013, what they did is they retired the old federal exam. And so if we have any brokers on the line, any new hires that you hire after April 1st, 2013, has the UST as part of the federal exam. Now there isn't a choice of whether you take the federal or the federal with UST. The only option is the UST. Julie, what other questions did you have for me?
I understand. I've heard that they combine, if you're taking it now, they combine the 25 questions, right?
Correct. The UST is 25 questions, but now it's bolted on to the previous 100 questions. So now new people coming into the industry have to take a test of 125 questions. And that's what's cool about the UST. Is we are us old folks that just took the national test. You can take just the UST, 25 questions, and have passed the testing requirements for 39 states.
Fabulous.
Oh, yeah.
What states are not included in that?
Well, if everybody can look at their computer screens for just a second, this is a map. Now, the date of the map is January 2014, but it hasn't changed. It'll change quarterly. So the next time we'll see the map change is probably April 1. So the states in blue are the states which have adopted the UST. The states in white are the states which have not adopted the UST. And as everybody can see on their screens, you have some big states that are not on: California, Florida, New York. But then again, you have many, many other states: Alaska, Hawaii, Texas, New Mexico, Utah, Idaho, Montana, Kentucky, Tennessee, Georgia. There's no way I can read them all off, but there are many, many states that are on. Meaning that, let me do a little bit of history, and then I'll tell you what I mean. On April 1, when NMLS rolled this out, there were only 21 states, so not even half of them were covered. From April 1 to now, 11 months later, they've added, it's moved up to 39. What that means is, when you take the test and pass it, if any new states come on, you have automatically passed the testing requirements for the new states as well. So when I took this test April of last year, there was only 21. So here I've been passing 18 new states, and I haven't done anything.
Now this means that they can actually do loans in those states?
Absolutely.
If they pass this test?
Yes. Okay, so that's kind of a two-part question. Can they do loans in those states? Well, if you meet whatever the state requirements are, then the answer is yes, you can do business in those states. So what the UST does, the Uniform State Test does, is you've now passed the testing requirement. But if that particular state requires a lead person, a qualified individual, a broker of record, a principal lending manager, and all the states call them differently. So generally somebody with experience. It does not have to be a real estate broker. It's just someone with experience. And let's say the state might have a physical presence requirement. So if the state has, let's say, those two requirements, you got to have an office and you have to have a person in charge, then once you meet it, you pay your fee. Yes, you can practice in those states.
Okay. I also heard that when you're taking this exam, that they combine it with the score that you already received on your NMLS.
Right. So those people that have already taken the national test, okay, we got a score. And if you're practicing today, your score was 75 or better. What they do with this UST is, remember, as I've already said, any new people coming into the industry, they just have one score, the new national test with UST. So us older folks, we have our score already. Then they're going to take this UST score, and the two scores are bolted together to create a new score. It doesn't really matter what the score is, because your score can only be, a score is irrelevant. It doesn't matter, because if you pass the UST and you're already practicing, again, what does it matter? And let's say you only scored a 75 and you absolutely fail the UST. Well, nothing happens to you. You're still practicing. You're still good. So the score doesn't really matter, and you don't know your score when you're done taking the test. They will tell you how many you missed, but you do not get a score. And, you know, everybody on the line, everybody on this webinar can figure out their own scores. There's only 25 questions. And so if you've missed 2, you're right, you've got a little less than 10% of them wrong. So anyway, the score doesn't matter. But if there are some folks that really want to know what their score is, it's posted on NMLS. They would just log into NMLS and then they could find out their own score. It takes them a couple of days to do that. The testing centers let NMLS know. Bottom line, if they do what we asked them to do today, Julie, we're hearing reports that people are just flying through this at a very, well, Julie, where were you last Tuesday?
I was at the Silicon Valley chapter camp.
And where was I last Tuesday?
You happened to be at the same place because you were on a panel with Edwin Chow and Brad Hargrove, and we did some CFPD information. And then after that, you did a UST class. And
on that UST class, just last Tuesday, we had people take the test from then until now, and we now have a new school record. We were having people...
What is it?
Well, thank you. I was just going to get to that. We were having people, take 15 minutes and then 10 minutes and then 8 minutes to pass this test. The new school record now is 6 minutes at 100%. Now, that is not, what's the commercial say? Past performance is not an indicator of whatever might happen in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, if you get our exam prep, we will prepare you very, very well to help pass this test. It's not like the 100-question test that we all had to do on the federal. These 25 questions are, they're a lot more straightforward. The answers are a lot more straightforward, and we've heard nothing but real positive results from those that have gone through. We're not saying to keep the motor running in the parking lot, but you should be in and out very, very quickly.
That's great. I mean, in this time, right, we don't have much time to spare on all this testing that they make us do. So
right.
The quicker the better.
Right. I just flipped the slide so that everybody could see what the 39 state mortgage agencies are that have adopted the UST, and if everybody looks on the right-hand side, those that have not adopted. We actually talked to some of those states, and we're asking, why they weren't on, because our feeling is, and here I am, and people can remember way back in March, on March 7th, 2014, you heard it from Julie Gregory and David Luna first. We think that all, if not, right, maybe most of the states will all be on UST. And when we talked to the regulators, this is what they told us. The reason we're not on is because, one, it hasn't passed our legislature, and it's, we're changing state law, and so we have to go through that process. Two, we're thinking that, our state is so unique, you need to have, a special test just for our state. Well, I'm looking at the left-hand side on the screen, and I see Hawaii there. Hawaii has lava zones. I would say Hawaii would probably have a case to say, hey, our state is different, but you see that Hawaii has adopted the UST. And so, there could be some states that say, well, we want to have our own standalone test. It's going to cost the states more money to have their own standalone tests. And so there's just many and varied reasons why the states on the right have not adopted it, and they may never adopt it. But I have a feeling that moving forward, you're going to see more and more of those states on the right adopting the UST and not having a state-specific test.
Hey, David, do you know where they take the exam at?
Absolutely. As everybody on the line remembers, when you guys took your tests, you were either at a Prometric or a Pearson VUE location. NMLS has not renewed their contract with Pearson VUE, and so the only option now is a Prometric location. So here's the process. You're going to get on NMLS. You're going to pay for your test, which is $33. And then you're going to go to a Prometric location, so a testing center. When you get there, you're going to have to show ID. We got to make sure you're you. Once you get in there, you're going to sit at a computer. It's going to be exactly the same as the test we had before, except, in my opinion, I think this one's in English, and it's a lot more common sense, and it's easier to read. But you're going to sit at the computer. You're going to get a question. You're going to have A, B, C, or D, so it's multiple guess. You're going to pick one. And again, seriously, you will be in and out in just a matter of minutes. It won't take you very long at all. They won't give you your score. You'll find out a couple of days later on NMLS. But that's, and you can pick the location. So a place close to home, place close to work. Prometric has many, many, many locations around the country.
Oh, that's good. Right? That'll be much more convenient than having to drive like a map.
Right. So I think one of the reasons we're trying to let people know about this now is, ladies and gentlemen, this is very, very important. I just wrote an article for another industry publication talking about this UST. You have until the end of the month. You have until March 31st to enroll to take the UST. If you do not, the only way to get into these 39 other state mortgage agencies is you're going to have to take the full-blown test. So you may think, you know what, I'm happy, I'm in my state. Say you're in California. I'm going to pick California as a state. Again, as you're looking at this list, it could be any of these states. But anyway, California, I'm fine. I'm practicing here. I passed the California State Specific. I passed the National. I'm good. Great. Don't take the UST. That'll be a foolish error on your part, but you don't have to. If you think you're fine and you will never, ever, ever, ever practice in another state, cool. You do not have to do this. You do not have to annually take this test. You take it once and you're done. You never, ever, ever have to take another test. But if you're with a yeah, go ahead, Julie.
I'm sorry. Can I ask you a quick question regarding that? Then why wouldn't you take the test?
I can't think of a good reason at all. I can't think of one good reason why you wouldn't.
Right. If it's $33, you can take it close to home. You can practice in currently 39 states, probably more later, and you are in and out in probably, let's even call it 10 minutes. What the heck? Right?
Again, I can't think of a good reason why you wouldn't do it. I was talking to a gal from Colorado, and, if we go back to this other map that we were seeing before, you see Colorado white in a sea of blue, and they're saying, well, wait, I'm fine. And I just asked, have you stayed with the same company your entire career? The answer is no. Might you ever work with a company that has a presence in another state? The answer was yes. And I said, if you ever, either your company or another company, ever needed your services in Texas or, just anywhere else, Pennsylvania, could you now practice? The answer is, if you've got this under your belt, yes. Other questions I get, Julie, is what does it cost to maintain a license in another state? Well, wait a minute. By passing the UST, you do not have additional licensing fees unless you choose to practice in that state. So let's say I go to, the Lone Star State. I go to Texas because their economy is really good. They didn't really suffer a lot during the last few years, and I now want to practice in Texas. Well, if your company's there, you're practicing there, you want to have a license there, then even though you're approved, your education's and your testing's approved in 39 other states, but you're only really working in Texas, then your fees only pertain to Texas. If these guys are practicing in, Kansas, and now they want to practice in California, don't you think we should return the favor? They're going to practice in one state. Yeah. Why don't we practice in theirs? Right?
Right.
It doesn't cost you any.
Here's the thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
For us here in Northern California, with Nevada being so close, I have a lot of loan officers that call and ask if they can do Nevada or Arizona. And forgive me, again, I'm driving, so I'm not looking at the map, but Nevada, Arizona, even Utah, I have an office that does quite a lot of business in Utah. They have a presence there. So, again, I'm not looking at the map, but, right, we're so close to Nevada, there's so many people here that do most or want to do most in Nevada.
Absolutely.
Is Nevada on the...
Nevada is on the list. Yeah, so whether it's Northern California, say, the Tahoe-Reno area, whether it's in the southern part of the state and maybe they want to do business in Las Vegas or something, Nevada is on there. And again, just pass whatever that state's requirements are. This is a test. It is not licensure. The hardest part is passing the test. Well, now we've made the test easy. So once you pass the test, you're going to jump through the hoops of whatever that state is. If you never turn it on in Nevada, you never have any additional fees. If you do turn on your license in Nevada, then you might have some either fees or some additional education requirements. The states are adopting the UST and they're making up for it, maybe in additional continuing ed. So take the great state of Hawaii. So you went to the right, Nevada. I'm going to the left, Hawaii. So you want to practice in Hawaii. And by the way, I do think you should attend, your closings in Hawaii. But anyway, Hawaii does. Hawaii just has 1 extra hour of continuing education. I think the state that has the most continuing education, I think, is Kentucky with an additional 4 hours of CE. So most states, you mentioned Utah. You do your 8 hours in 2013 in Utah, you would have met California's 2013 requirements. Utah is adding 2 additional hours for 2014. So you do Utah's extra 2 and Hawaii's extra 1, and there you go. You're all good to go.
And David, do you offer continuing ed?
Oh, yeah. So not only the 8 hours, that are general for the entire country, but if somebody wanted, like let's take Texas, for example, any additional educational requirements for Texas or any of the other states, yes, we can help you out. And thank you. I did notice that was a free plug for us. And Julie, Thank you. I appreciate that. That was nice. I want, time is running out. We're doing a whole bunch of questions. Again, ladies and gentlemen, if you have questions for me, bottom left-hand side, meeting chat, ask whatever questions in the time that's remaining. We'd love to help you. So let me tell you what Julie and Mortgage Educators have done for you. If you go to the Mortgage Educators site, generally speaking, we charge $70-something to prep you for this exam. I think that's a fantastic price. So for $70 for us, $33 to take the test, $100. Oh my goodness, you're now in 39 additional states. However, we were doing a special. It was not good enough for Julie because we got the price down into the $50 range. Julie says, no, I want to have an even better price. So I just crossed my fingers and I said, well, what if we were like less than $50, $40 something? She says, Dave, that's good. Keep sharpening your pencil. And then I'm starting to get worried. And she said, well, can you do better? And I said, well, you want it in the $30 range. And then Julie, you remember you did this. You looked at me and you said, Dave, I want it even less. Ladies and gentlemen, Julie Gregory has the only code where you can get this UST exam prep course for less than $30. Julie, how do you want these folks to get a hold of you? You want them to call you? You want them to email you? Because your price is even cheaper than it's available on the website. They have to contact you because you're sort of kind of doing this for them. How do they get a hold of you?
Email would be great, which is julie.gregory@mwfinc.com.
Okay, now Julie, I was trying to write that down. You were going way too fast. So JULIE dot Gregory, just like it sounds, at. And give me those letters one more time of Mountain West.
It's M as in mountain, W as in west, S as in financial, INC.com.
Okay. Very, very good. Do you have a phone number that you don't mind sharing with everybody?
Absolutely. 925-260-1880. And I'd be happy to help you with not only this, but any questions you might have for your scenario.
Okay, so one more time on the phone number.
925-260-1880.
Okay, very, very good. Okay, time is just flying really, really quick. So we looked at the other states and things like that. Ladies and gentlemen, we are recording this presentation. Let's tell them what they get for the less than $30, which I think is amazing. Okay, so for less than $30, if you get a hold of Julie and she gives you the coupon code, come back to the Mortgage Educators website. So it's mortgageeducators.com. Mortgageeducators.com. You're going to click on the UST exam prep test. You're going to see my prices, which are, right now we're having a special in the $50 range. But don't be afraid. Put in the code that you can only get from Julie. The price drops to less than $30. You'll see the new price there at checkout. This is what you get. We have approximately 100 PowerPoint slides. These PowerPoint slides will go through everything that you're going to need to know for the UST test. Remember, there's only 25 questions. Then, besides that, we're going to give you 7 practice exams, each with 25 questions. So you're going to get 175 practice questions in 7 tests of 25. You're going to be prepared very, very well, and time is running out. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't do this in the next few days, the opportunity is going to be gone. NMLS gave us a year. It's now been more than 11 months. In X number of days, it's going to close. Julie, before we end, I want everybody to know this. You do not have to take the test before the end of the month. You must enroll before the end of the month. What that means is you go in.
Is there a time frame that they have to take the test?
Yes.
After they enroll?
Yes. So you have to enroll before the end of the month, and then you have 6 more months in order to take and pass your test. Ladies and gentlemen, please, please, please listen carefully. This is the article I wrote for an industry publication today. They were asking me questions. You've got to understand this. Let's say I pay my fees today, March 7th, and then I take, the weekend to prep, and then I take the class on Monday. I take the test on Monday. So if everybody would look on their calendars, Monday's date is going to be, what is that, the 10th?
The 10th.
So, okay,
The 10th.
so you take it on the 10th. You fail it. Obviously, you didn't get your exam prep from us. You want to challenge it on your own? Cool, no problem. You fail it. Pay your fee, enroll again, but you have to wait 30 days before you take your test. So now you have to wait until April 9th to take your test. You didn't do an exam prep. You're challenging the test again. You fail it again. That's it. It's over. It's over. You have to take the full-blown national with UST in order to get this. So what we're pleading with you to do, is register, enroll is the term NMLS uses. On the NMLS website, go into your account, pay your $33. You use Julie's code, get it for less than $30. And here we are for about $60. That's less than $2 per state. You're not only prepped, but you're going to nail this test the first time. That's not a guarantee. I have no idea whether you're actually going to use our material and study and prepare yourself. But you go in, you take the test, and you're good to go. Okay, Julie, we got to wrap up. What other questions did you have for me?
Boy, I think you've covered it all, Mr. David. I will say that David and I have been offering classes of many different types, whether most of them lately have been the continuing ed for NMLS. But we've done a lot of classes, FAQ and what have you, David, for how many years now?
Many. Mortgage Educators is celebrating 21 years.
Woo!
We're old.
So we've done a lot of classes together, you guys, and I'm just another shameless plug for you, but it's the honest truth. Everybody that has attended one of David's classes has not only enjoyed the class, but they do very well, like we did when NMLS first was having their testing. We did some classes, and people, passed with flying colors. I strongly urge you, to enroll for this and take it. It's $60. We can waste down on a couple cups of coffee in a week.
Yeah, we could.
And it's your livelihood and your future, and you never know. You never know when you may want to offer to do loans somewhere.
In Washington, D.C. Yeah. In Washington, D.C. I just wanted to throw a spot in there.
Yeah. Yes, Washington, D.C.
Okay.
So I strongly urge you to do it.
Okay. So one more time, Julie, give me your contact info.
It's Julie.Gregory at mwfinc.com, and my number is 925-260-1880.
All right, we'll give you all of these slides. We'll give you test questions. We will prepare you very, very well. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Julie, thanks for putting this thing together and for beating me up a little bit on the price. We are recording it. We'll make the recording available on Monday. Please don't wait. You've got to take this test. We're now down to days. If there's any kind of questions or anything, please let us know. Wait a minute. I've been answering people's questions, but we got one from Faye. Did not realize if you fail, you must wait 30 days. Faye, if you fail this thing, re-enroll before the end of the month, and then you can take the test again. So we're giving you enough notice to squeeze 2 times in before you have to take the full-blown test again. So we want to thank Julie for putting this thing together for us. But that's it. You've only got 2 tries. Please be prepared. Go in, nail this thing. Everybody have a great weekend. We've got all your emails. We'll make this thing available to you. Julie, hopefully you're still driving safe and have a good weekend as well. We'll see everybody later.
Thank you.
Julie, say goodbye.
Thank you, David. Thanks for your time.
Welcome.
Bye.
Okay, bye.